Geosys is proud to share this partner demonstration of the FarmDog application. To learn more, visit farmdog.ag.
Thank you very much. This is Liron Brish from FarmDog. I'm the founder and CEO of the company, and thank you to Geosys for giving us the opportunity to share what we've built and to share our integration with Geosys as well, which is becoming an important aspect of the product offering that we have for our users. Quick background on FarmDog. FarmDog was founded around 5 years ago with the long-term vision of helping growers and agronomists reduce their pesticide use, maintain and protect their yields while promoting environmental sustainability. That's our long-term vision. Within that long-term vision, if we pull it back to kind of short-term value proposition to our users, our main goals are to save our users time out in the field, to improve their communication with their team, as well as to start creating a digital record of what they're finding out in the field so that over time they can make more informed treatment decisions for their fields. So I'm going to go through a quick demo of FarmDog. This is going to be the high-level demo. There's lots of bells and whistles that I'm going to have to skip just for sake of brevity and not to lose people's attention. So at any point, feel free to reach out to me at liron@farmdog.ag. I'll spell out my first name as well, Liron @farmdog.ag if there are follow-up questions. So FarmDog is a mobile and web-based platform. By mobile, we have both Android and iOS applications, as well as a web component where all the data syncs up. About 90% of what I'm going to show right now works offline and online. Our goal, of course, is to make this usable for folks out in the field. And as many of us know, there are way too many places out in agriculture that currently do not have connectivity for what they're doing. And so, of course, we've optimized for that. What you're seeing right now is my iPhone screen. And when you first go to the screen, when you go to the map, you're going to see a few things. You're going to have, first of all, your field boundaries. There's a few different icons on here that you can share different data layers, but I'm going to focus on the first value proposition, which is saving time for our user when they're out scouting their fields. For those that don't know what scouting fields is, it really just means going out to the field and looking for pest and disease, writing down those observations, what you find, and then sharing those observations with folks. So in terms of time savings, the first thing that you'll notice when you go out to the field is you have access to all of your field's previous history. So on Jan 17th, we saw cutworms low, moderate European corn borers. I'm going to tap this arrow here on the left just to go back in time and view more information. So first of all, if we're all on the same team, it's a very easy data sync, data communication. What this does, what I just showed y'all, this very simple interface does is replace either taking a large notebook out to the field with your previous observations, or now you don't have to call up somebody who was out in the field previously to ask what they found, and you don't have to remember what you found. So you've got all that available to you. When you're ready to scout your visit, you tap log visit at the bottom. That will open up your observation form. The observation form has a few main sections. The first one is the growth stage section. The second one is the stand count section for the relevant crops. There's an observation section, which is where you're seeing the pest and disease names. And then at the bottom is what I call the administrative section, where you add a recommendation, save your visit, share the visit, whatever it may be. All this is fully customizable. We don't force our users to collect any information that they don't want to. The minimum that they do have to enter in when they enter information is a pest or disease type, severity scale, and then that is geo-referenced to a field. So growth stage, our users can tap any, all, some, none of the growth stages, whatever is relevant for them in the field. We've got a stand count calculator, so we'll automatically calculate that stand count for our users in multiple ways, depending on what they prefer. You can see we've automatically calculated that stand count for them. If they're looking for cutworms, for example, the specific pest here is on a low, moderate, high scale. All they need to do is tap the severity scale that they found. They can add a note. So as I tell all my users, I hope they have something much smarter to say than cutworms looking crazy. They can add a picture. They can drop a GPS marker. If I were actually out in the field, I could just tap the GPS icon at the bottom right and it would drop that icon down exactly where I am. Since I'm not in the field, I can just tap my screen and drop that GPS marker wherever I want. You also have the capability to track your path out in the field. Obviously, I'm not in the field right now, or I would show that, but we can track the user's path in the field. If I jump down to European corn borer, one thing to point out is importantly, we also allow users to collect what we call negative data. We looked for corn borer, we didn't find any. I just tapped that little check mark and we collect that data as well. And then common rust here, this is just an example that we use percentages. So this is 25% of my plants are infested. Here also, you can take a note, take a picture, drop a GPS marker, whatever you want. When you're done with the visit with this specific field, you can add a note for that field. You can add a recommendation for that field. Spray with X. And now when you're done, you can do one of two things. First thing is I can just save the visit. If I'm online, that visit is going to be synced up to the cloud automatically and synced up with any of my other accounts. So if I'm working with somebody who's sitting in the office, he or she can view this observation that I just collected. They can view it on their mobile application if they're somewhere else. If I'm offline, that's going to be saved locally. The second I'm back online, whether Wi-Fi or cell connectivity, it's going to shoot everything back up into the cloud. Instead of just saving the visit, I can also send out a report. So I'm going to send out this report to myself. I'm going to add a report summary. Field looks good. At the bottom, before I actually send out the report, it's going to allow me to review everything that I collected. So I visited field Luckenbach 1 at 11:36. For those sharp-eyed folks, the reason the time at the top left is different from what you're seeing there. It's just because I'm connected to the computer and it automatically shows a weird time when that happens. But you've got the timestamp on here. I've got European corn borers. Let's say that European corn borers here is okay, as you can see. But let's assume I entered that incorrectly. I can just tap that and I can change my input from the screen very easily. So again, the goal here is to save people a bunch of time when they're out in the field. I tap the airplane icon at the top right, and that's going to send out. The report is now going to load within the next 5 to 20 seconds or so. What it looks like, I'll just show you all this. What that report looks like is you can see we've got the picture here that I added. We've got the GPS marker. At the top, our users can add their logo, their company logo, their contact information. Really, the goal here is to allow our users, whether they're agronomists, extension agents, whoever it may be, to help them brand themselves while they're out working in the field. Let me go back out to my map. I'll share a few additional data layers with y'all that are on here. So we've got weather data layers as well. So we show our users current and forecasted weather information. You can search for pesticide labels within FarmDog. So let's say I'm in California and I've got avocado thrips. It's going to pull in all the different pesticide labels, or all the different pesticides that are approved for avocado thrips in California, and you can pull in that pesticide label within FarmDog. Go back to my map. Within my map also, I can view soil type information that we pull in from USDA. That's going to pull up. There you go. And then importantly is our Geosys integration. We had heard over the last year or so was that it was important for many of our users to be able to pull in aerial imagery. One of the things that they asked for was satellite imagery, and that's how we connected and integrated with Geosys. And so far, it's been a great integration, easy to work with, and most importantly, we're able to provide our users the information they need, which is satellite imagery across their fields. And so there you can see we're going to get this NDVI coming in from Geosys. I can scroll down at the bottom across different dates. I'm going to pull in the different images. You can see that just changed. And so we've got that Geosys integration. Within this, the goal here is, again, to provide our users as many data layers as are necessary to allow them to come to a pest and disease management decision on their own. So Obviously, the field observations, the ground truth data is incredibly important. The aerial imagery is incredibly important. Weather information is important. In addition to that, we've allowed our users to integrate their data with John Deere, for example, as well as a few other partnerships that we're working on. It's really to help users close that loop within this agricultural ecosystem. What FarmDog is doing is becoming this hub for pest and disease management decisions. And of course, we understand that there are incredibly important data layers and other companies providing some of these data layers for us, such as Geosys, to help provide our users essentially with a great way to make their decisions. This is a mobile application. There are a few things, of course, that I skipped out on. You can send out multiple fields or multiple visits within one PDF, so that you're not bombarding people with 20 different PDF reports throughout the day. You can consolidate that all into one. There's ways to customize the forms in here as well that I didn't show. That actually I'll show that really quickly on here. So let's assume that I want to add an observation. We've got about 5,000 or 6,000 different observations here, most on a low, moderate, high scale. So if I'm looking for thrips, you can see all these pulling up. Let's assume I'm looking for something that we don't have. So let's call it the Geosys. We've already done a Geosys demo, so we've got that here. But let's say I'm calling this one. Let's call this one just Geosys 2. Create new. It'll be called a weed, and we'll do it by count. And I can very easily create that additional observation within here. So I'm just going to save this visit again. So there's multiple ways to customize your observation form by pest name, by severity scale. You can move all that around. What you're seeing right now is the FarmDog web dashboard. All the data here is synced up. And so first I'm just going to go to the fields that we're just on. Actually, let me refresh this quickly. And here you can see we've got the marker that we placed. We've got the picture that we took, and we've got here the Geosys 2 per check that we had on here as well. And so all the data syncs up automatically without me having to do anything. In addition to this, our users have the ability to customize their forms and their settings. So I'd mentioned the ability to add your logo. I know there's folks here on this probably not only from the United States. You can switch between hectares and acres. You can enable stand counts. So you have a lot of control really over the way that you're going to manage and share what you're finding out in the field. We've also got a team dashboard here. And so, as I mentioned, everybody within the team, the data is shared. So if I scouted the field now, and George, who's our VP of product on here on this demo account, he's able to see all the data that I just collected. It's members. You just add them like this. And then that person gets added right here. Within that, you also have different privileges. So there can be one manager and only that person can customize the forms. Lots of different privileges that you'd expect from a team functionality. Very easy to get started. So let me go here, sorry. In terms of getting users started in onboarding, they can upload a shapefile. They can import their field boundaries from John Deere. They can manually draw the fields. If they've got more than 5, we very strongly recommend to them not to hand draw them or manually draw them, because then they're going to hate us. But we do have that capability. Our users can also always export their data. So if the user wants to take their data somewhere else, our users own their own data. We can export that in a CSV file for them. And then in addition, one of the things that we've started doing, which we're really excited about, is what we're calling Data Explorer. I'm going to go into a different account just to show that off. And what Data Explorer is really the next level of what we're doing with the data that we're collecting. So the data that is entered into FarmDog is entered in a standardized structured georeference data. The great thing about it from day one, from our users' perspective, is we're saving them time and making it really easy for them to share their information. The great thing about it over the long term is it allows us to actually look at insights and do data analytics in terms of what is working and what isn't working on the field. So this is in our alpha version right now. I'm going to open it up. It's called a Data Explorer. And what you're going to see is, first of all, for the field, you're going to get just a kind of a scorecard, 42 observations, 9 visits total. If I tap here on a specific date, it's going to give me that date again. And then let me just double click on aphids. And what we've done is essentially visualized what the aphid outbreak looked like over time. What that means is importantly, when I hover, for example, over June, let me actually go here. Let me go to July 15th when our aphids pressure went from 0 to low. I can also look at the same time on my growing degree days. We were at around 2,000. My precipitation that day was pretty low, 0.016, but I can also look at wind. I can look at maximum temperature. And really what the goal here is to add those data layers to our user's platform in a way that he or she can analyze and start to answer some questions. Hey, we had an aphid outbreak. Why or why not, right? Or not why not, but why did we have that aphid outbreak? Let's take a look at the things that can affect it. Over time, we're also going to be adding on here what treatments you actually applied in the field, so you can see efficacy ratings over time. We'll be able to start comparing efficacy across your different fields and across the state and across the country to see what works where. Make sure we're not getting resistance. And so this is really that next step in terms of what FarmDog is doing. But again, it all comes down to the foundational time savings and improved communication, day one value proposition that we're giving our users. We're adding on top of that additional data layers, important layers such as satellite imagery from Geosys, and then ultimately getting to the point where we're giving our users all the data tools that they need in order to make better decisions out in the field. So that's a FarmDog platform. We are available to download off the Android and iOS app. We've got a free trial. Our pricing is on a monthly basis. There's a free trial for the professional version, which includes everything that I just shared. We also have a free version of FarmDog, which allows you to collect data from the field and send out reports, but there's no satellite imagery, there's no customized reports, there's no data analytics. So basically 2 types, free and professional. Android and iOS, everybody gets a free trial based off of usage, not off of time. So if you've got a user that in North America that signs up in January, they don't have to worry about testing this out in the next week. They've got time to test FarmDog out, and then hopefully we'll be able to convince them that FarmDog saves them time and improves their operations. That's FarmDog, as mentioned in the beginning. Feel free to reach out to Liron, Liron, at farmdog.ag if you've got any questions.